we come to page 338, analysis of suitability, Sappaya Bheda. This section deals with what subjects of meditation are suitable for people of what temperament. So, you remember that at the beginning of this chapter, the author gives six temperaments, or people with 6 kinds of temperaments. Section 3, Raga Charita, Dosa Charita, and so on. So, people of lustful temperament, hateful temperament, deluded temperament, faithful temperament, intellectual temperament, and discursive temperament. In Pali they are Raga, Charita, Dosa, Moha, Saddha, Buddhi, and Vittaka. So there are 6 kinds of people according to this classification of temperaments. But actually there can be more than 6 kinds of people. 6 kinds of people having mixed temperaments. Not just, somebody may have not just one temperament only. He may have a mixture of 2 or 3. So this section deals with, say, what subjects are suitable for people of what temperament. So the first, with respect to temperaments, the 10 kinds of foulness and mindfulness occupied with the body. That means 10 asubhas and kaya gata sati in the chart number 29. That is meditation on the 32 parts, are suitable for those of a lustful temperament. So, people who have lustful temperament should take up these kinds of meditation. The first 10 are 10 asubhas, looking at the bloated corpse and so on. So it can help that person to at least to diminish lust for the body. And also the mindfulness occupied with the body, that is contemplating on the 32 parts of the body. So this also is suitable for those of lustful temperament. The 4 illimitables, 4 arubhas, and the 4 kala kasinas are suitable for those of a hateful temperament. When you see kala, you are happy. So kala kasinas are suitable for those who are of hateful temperament, who get angry very easily. And also the 4 Brahma Viharas. So the 4 colored kasinas means Nila kasina, blue kasina, Pita kasina, yellow kasina, Lohita kasina, red kasina, and Odata kasina, white kasina. So taking a blue disc or yellow disc or red disc or white disc as the object of meditation. So these 4 and the 4 arubhas, Akasa, Nanja, Yatana, and so on. Right? No, I mean 4 appamanya, 31, 32, 33, 34, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekkha. So these 8 are for those who are of a hateful temperament. That means who have anger. So most of the time who have anger. The 4 Brahma Viharas. Now when a person practices Brahma Vihara, Metta, he is able to get rid of anger or hate. And Karuna and Mudita also helps one to become happy, and so they help a person to get rid of hate or dosa. And Upekkha also. So the 4 Abhamanyas are for those who have hateful temperament, and also the 4 Kalakasinas. Mindfulness of breathing is suitable for those of a deluded moha and discursive vitaka temperament. Now, mindfulness of breathing is said to be the opposite of moha, because if you have too much moha, you cannot practice breathing meditation. So breathing meditation or mindfulness of breathing meditation is said to be the opposite of moha. And also what? Vitaka. When you practice mindfulness meditation, you are able to suppress, or you are able to cut vitaka, thinking, discursive thinking. So mindfulness of breathing is suitable for those of a deluded temperament and discursive temperament. Moha charita and vitaka charita. The 6 recollections of the Buddha and so forth. So that means 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 are suitable for those of a faithful temperament, saddha charita, because they promote saddha of faith in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and so on. So recollection of the Buddha's qualities, recollection of the Dhamma qualities, Sangha's qualities, recollection of one's own pure sila, recollection of one's own generosity, and recollection of one's own good qualities in comparison with those of devas. So these 6 help a meditator to gain more faith. So these 6 are suitable for those of faithful temperament. Recollection of death, recollection of peace, the perception of loathsomeness in food, and the analysis of the 4 elements are suitable for those of an intellectual temperament. So these are for those who are of buddhi charita, because these subjects are profound, and also you need understanding to practice recollection of death and so on. So number 28, right? And recollection of peace means number 27, upasammanosati. And the perception of loathsomeness in food, that is on the other page. Number 35, ahare patikula sanya. And the analysis of the 4 elements, that is number 36, chetu dhatu vavatthana. Analyzing or whatever is in the body into 4 primary elements. So these are suitable for those of an intellectual temperament, for Bodhi Charita. All of the remaining subjects of meditation are suitable for all temperaments. So that means, what are remaining? 2 kasinas, right? Akasa kasina, number 9 and number 10, Aloka kasina. And then, number 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 9, 10. And then 37, 38, 39, 40. So these are suitable for all temperaments. Of the kasinas, a white one is suitable for one of deluded temperament. So if a person is of moha charita, then his kasina should be a bigger one, because he has a deluded mind, and so if he takes a small kasina, then he'll become more deluded. So for him, a bigger kasina disc is suitable. And a small one for one of discursive temperament. So if you are of discursive temperament, if you have a lot of vitaka, then if the kasina is big, then it will encourage vitaka. And so for a person of vitaka temperament, a smaller kasina is recommended. Now, I want to refer you to Visuddhimagga to read about the temperaments. That is in chapter 3, right? Chapter 3, paragraph 74 to 103, and also chapter 3, 121 and 122. There, these 6 temperaments are explained in detail, and it's interesting, although Visuddhimagga itself said that these explanations are not found in the text, not found in the commentaries. Also, these are the opinions of teachers, and so they may not be authentic. But it is interesting because it gives maybe some clues to why this person has a lustful temperament or hateful temperament, and so on. So there are six things by which we may know a person to have a particular temperament. So in Visuddhimagga, it is said that we know, or we you will know the temperament of a person exactly only when you can read his mind. Otherwise, you have to use inference. So we can infer from these 6 things that a particular person has this temperament or that temperament. And it's interesting. So one is by postures, that is how he sits, how he lies down, and so on. And 2 is by his actions, by the way he does things. And 3 is by his eating, that is what he likes and how he eats. And 4 is by seeing, and so on. That means a person of, say, lustful temperament may see things to be agreeable, say, to be desirable, and so on. And the last is by the kind of mental states that occur in him frequently. So by these 5, we can infer a person to be of, say, this or that temperament. 1, 2, 1. So now I'll read a little, not all. By posture, when one of greedy temperament is walking in his usual manner, he walks carefully, puts his foot down slowly, puts it down evenly, lifts it up evenly, and his step is springy. I don't know what that means. Huh? Move up and down. One of hating temperament walks as though he were digging with the points of his feet. Puts his foot down quickly, lifts it up quickly, and his step is dragged along. That is one who has a temperament of anger or hate. One of deluded temperament walks with a perplexed gait, puts his foot down hesitantly, lifts it up hesitantly, and his step is pressed down suddenly. Something like that. So by looking at the footprints also, you may infer this person has lustful temperament and so on. There is a story of Mahatma Gandhi. He wanted to give his daughter to a deserving person. So one day Buddha knew that the father and mother will become enlightened. So he left a footprint on the road. And when the father saw the footprint, they look at it, and this footprint is of a person of, say, the high caste or something like that. So they follow the footprints, and then they went to the Buddha and offered their daughter to him. So by looking at the footprints, we may infer that this person has anger as a temperament, or this person has a lustful temperament. And then, say, by action. One of greedy temperament grasps the broom well when he sweeps, and he sweeps cleanly and evenly without hurrying or scattering the sand, as if he was strewing flowers. A person of hating temperament grabs the brooms tightly, and he sweeps uncleanly and unevenly with a harsh noise, hurriedly throwing up the sand on each side. One of deluded temperament grasps the brooms loosely, and he sweeps neither cleanly nor evenly, mixing the sand up and turning it over. So if you see something like that, you can infer that this person has a lustful temperament and so on. And also washing and dyeing robes and so on. And then by eating. A person of greedy temperament likes eating rich, sweet food. So if you like rich food, you are of a greedy temperament. And when eating, he makes a round lump, not too big, and eats unhurriedly, savoring the various tastes. He enjoys getting something good. And one of hating temperament likes eating rough, sour food. So if you like sour food, fruits and others, you are of a hating temperament. When eating, he makes a lump that fills his mouth, and he eats hurriedly without savoring the taste. He is aggrieved when he gets something not good. So he is angry when he does not get something not good. One of deluded temperament has no settled choice. When eating, he makes a small, unrounded lump, and as he eats, he drops bits into his dish, smearing his face with his mind astray, thinking of this and that. So, and then seeing and so on. A person of greedy temperament sees even a slightly pleasing visible object. He looks long as if surprised. He seizes on trivial virtues, discounts genuine faults. And when departing, he does so with longing as if unwilling to leave. So, if you're an optimist, you may be of greedy temperament. Because here he says, he seizes on trivial virtues and discounts genuine faults. So he may not see faults, but he sees what is good there. Then one of hating temperament sees even a slightly unpleasing visible object. He avoids looking long as if he were tired. He doesn't want to see it. He picks out trivial faults, discounts genuine virtues. So, a pessimist. And when departing, he does so without longing, as if anxious to leave. So he wanted to leave quickly. When one of deluded temperament sees any sort of visible object, he copies what others do. If he hears others criticizing, he criticizes. If he hears others praising, he praises. But actually he feels indifference in himself. The indifference of unknowing. So this indifference is accompanied by moha, unknowing. So too with sounds and so on. And then kind of states occurring frequently in the person. So a person of greedy temperament, in a person of greedy temperament, there is frequent occurrence of such states as deceit, fraud, pride, evilness of wishes, greatness of wishes, discontent, foppery, and personal vanity. And then hating temperament, there is anger, enmity, disparaging, domineering, envy, and avarice. And in one of deluded temperament, there is frequent occurrence of such states as stiffness, torpor, agitation, worry, uncertainty, and holding on tenaciously with refusal to relinquish. So, these are the the five things by which we can infer a person's temperament. After giving this information, more than this information, the author of the Visuddhimagga said, although these have been given here, they are not found in the text or in the commentaries, and so they are expressed according to the opinion of the teachers, and so cannot therefore be treated as authentic. A teacher who has acquired penetration of minds will know the temperament. That means a teacher who can only read the mind of other person will know the temperament and will explain a meditation subject accordingly. One who has not, that means who has not acquired the penetration of minds, should question the pupil. So he should ask his pupil, what do you like, what color do you like, something like that, and then give the meditation subject. And then the suitability. After explaining or after telling us which meditation subjects are suitable for which temperament, the Venerable Buddha said, all this has been stated in the form of direct opposition and complete suitability. That means the meditation subjects are said to be suitable for this temperament and that temperament because they are direct opposition and they are very suitable. For example, the Asubha, right? Asubha is said to be suitable for those of greedy temperament. That is because it is the direct opposite of Lobha. The Asubha is. And it is very suitable. So that is why 10 Asubhas and Kayagata Sati are said to be suitable for those of greedy temperament. But there is actually no profitable development, no kusala bhavana that does not suppress greed, etc. and help faith and so on. That means these are given, stated here because they are direct opposites and they are very suitable. But you can pick up any subject of meditation and practice because there is no meditation which does not suppress lobha and so on and which does not promote saddha and so on. So if we can, or if we know ourselves to be of this temperament or that temperament, and if we want to practice samatha meditation, we may choose which is most suitable. But if we don't know of what temperament we are, do you know what temperament you are? Maybe not. So we can take up any meditation because there is no meditation which does not suppress greed, etc., and which does not promote faith and so on. So this is on the temperaments. So for more information, please read the Path of Purification. Now the next section, analysis of development, bhavana bheda. Now by way of 3 stages. Now you go back to the 3 bhavanas. Section 4, page 331. The 3 stages of mental development are preliminary development, access development, and absorption development. So 3 kinds of development. The preliminary stage of development is attainable in all these 40 subjects of meditation. So for all these 40 subjects of meditation, there is preliminary stage of development, or parikama bhavana. So there is parikama bhavana for all 40 subjects of samatha meditation, because it is the beginning of the practice, and so you have to begin. So there is always parikama bhavana for all 40 subjects of meditation. In 10 subjects of meditation, the 8 recollections of the Buddha and so forth, the 1 perception and the 1 analysis, only access development is attained. That is, upachara bhavana is attained, but not absorption. That means, if you practice these 10 subjects of meditation, you can get only upachara samadhi. You will not get appana samadhi. You will not get jhana. So, these 10, the 8 recollections of the Buddha and so forth, the 1 perception and the 1 analysis, they can lead to access concentration only and not to absorption concentration, or simply you cannot get jhana if you practice one of these 10. In the 30 remaining subjects of meditation, the absorption stage of development is also attained. So in the remaining 30 subjects, all bhavanas are attained. Parikama bhavana, upachara bhavana, and appana bhavana, right? So I want you to check the chart with this. Okay, let us check the chart. Bhavana. So it says parikama bhavana for all, and upachara bhavana for only excess development is attained, but not absorption. So there are 8 recollections. That means 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And the one perception, that means sanya, 35. And the one analysis, 36. So 8 recollections and 1 sanya and 1 analysis. No appana, right? Yeah. So it's correct. In the 30 remaining subjects of meditation, the absorption stage of development is also attained. So all 3 are attained in other 30 meditation subjects, that is kasina, asubha, and so on. Okay. In the 10 subjects beginning with the recollection of the Buddha, the mind is engaged in reflecting upon many different qualities and themes, and this involves an intense application of thought, vitaka, which prevents one-pointedness from gaining the fixity needed to attain absorption. Actually, when you practice Buddha Nosati, then you have to contemplate on many things. Say Araham Samma Sambuddho, Vijjacharana Sampanno, and so on. Even one Arahant has 5 meanings or maybe 9 meanings. So the objects are many, they're different qualities, and so mind cannot attain jhana concentration when one practices these 10 subjects of meditation. So if you practice Buddha Nosati, you do not get jhana. You get what is called upachara samadhi. The same with 1 sanya, 1 perception, and 1 analysis. So when you practice these subjects of meditation, you get only upachara samadhi and not appana samadhi. Next is by way of jhana. So what jhanas can you get practicing certain subjects of meditation? The 10 kasinas and mindfulness of breathing produce 5 jhanas. So if you practice 10 kasinas, you can get from 1st to 5th jhana. That means all 5 jhanas. And mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati number 30. So if you practice number 30, you can get 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th jhanas. The 10 foulnesses and mindfulness occupied with the body produce only the 1st jhana. So if you practice 10 asubha meditations, you get only 1st jhana. And if you practice number 29, Kaya Gata Sati, you get only first jhana. So you do not get second, third, fourth and fifth jhanas if you practice these subjects of meditation. Why? Look at the guide. The 10 kinds of foulness and mindfulness occupied with the body both require the exercise of vitaka, and thus they are incapable of inducing the jhanas higher than the first, which are free from vitaka. Now in the Visuddhimagga, the object gross. Say asubha object is very rough and very gross. So you need vitaka to take the mind to the object. Without vitaka, mind cannot dwell on these objects. That is why only first jhana can be attained through the practice of asubha meditation. You know, second jhana and so on have no vitaka. They have vichara and so on. So since they do not have vitaka, they cannot be reached by practicing asubha meditation. In Visuddhimagga, just as it is only by virtue of a pole that a boat keeps steady in a river with turbulent waters and a rapid current, and it cannot be steadied without a pole, so too here, owing to the weak hold on the object, consciousness, when unified, only keeps steady by virtue of applied thought or vitaka, and it cannot be steadied without vitaka, which is why there is only the first jhana here, not the second and the rest. So when you and I are familiar with boats in the river, right? When sometimes they use poles, say to drive the boat to go upstream. So when the current is strong, and you need a strong pole, at least to keep it steady, so that it is not, it doesn't float down with the current. So if you do not have a pole, you cannot keep the boat steady. So in the same way, if you do not have vitaka, you cannot keep the mind or consciousness steady on these objects. So these objects are gross objects. And so the mind cannot take hold of the object firmly. So you always need vitaka when you practice, say, asubha meditation and kaya-kata sati meditation. That is why you can get only first jhana through the practice of these meditations. So the explanation can be found in Visuddhimagga, 6th chapter, paragraph 86. You may note it down. You may want to read it later, because it is a little different than what is given in the guide. And then the first three illimitables, the first three appamanyas necessarily arise in association with joyful feeling, somanasa. They are always accompanied by somanasa, and thus can lead only to the 4 lower jhanas. So if you practice metta, you can get first, second, third, fourth jhana, not fifth. If you practice karuna, if you practice mudita, you can get 4 jhanas. But if you practice upekha, equanimity, you can get what? Only the 5th jhana. Right? Mm. The illimitable of equanimity arises in association with neutral feeling. and thus can occur only at the level of the fifth jhana, which is accompanied by equanimous feeling. So these are by way of jhanas. Okay, let us see. Oh, we have already checked, right? Kasinas, first to fifth jhana, asubhas, first jhana only, and Buddha-nusati and so on until Maranasati, no jhana, Kayakadasati, first jhana only, Anapanasati, first to fifth jhana, Midda, first to fourth, Karuna Mudita, first to fourth, Ubekha, fifth only. And 35 Sanya, no jhana, 36 Vavatana, no jhana. And 4 Arubas, Aruba jhanas. So the 4 immaterial states produce immaterial jhanas. So you practice Akasananjayatana and you get the first Aruba Vajra jhana. Now this is the analysis of development by way of jhanas. So when we must understand the development of bhavana and jhanas with regard to these 40 subjects of meditation. So what bhavana can be obtained in which subjects of meditation, and what jhanas can one attain practicing these subjects of meditation. Now come the signs, analysis of the terrain, gochara bheda. So gochara can mean objects of meditation, or the terrain or domain of meditation. The signs. How many signs are there? 3 signs. What are the 3 signs? Parikama nimitta, Uggaha nimitta, and Patibhaga nimitta. So the signs, section 5, page 331. The 3 signs should be understood as the preliminary sign, the learning sign or the grasp sign, and the counterpart sign. Okay. So the 3 signs. Of the 3 signs, the preliminary sign and the learning sign are generally found in relation to every object. That means parikama nimitta and uggaha nimitta can be obtained with regard to all 40 subjects in the appropriate way. Now that means in some subjects of meditation we do not know exactly when is the parikama nimitta and when is uggaha nimitta, or when is parikama bhavana and when it becomes upachara bhavana. Because when you practice Buddha-nusati meditation, you have to concentrate on the qualities of the Buddha. And so there is no saying that up till some point it is parikama nimitta, and then from that on it is uggaha nimitta. It may be when the qualities are not so clear yet, it is parikama samadhi. But the counterpart sign is found only in the kasinas, foulness, the parts of the body, and mindfulness of breathing. Counterpart sign means patibhaga nimitta. Patibhaga nimitta can be found or can be obtained only when practicing 10 kasinas. And then foulness, 10 asubhas. And kaya gadasati, parts of the body. And mindfulness of breathing, anapana. It is by means of the counterpart sign that excess concentration and absorption concentration occur. Now you have to align 3 developments and 3 nimittas. Okay, first there is what? Parikama nimitta, right? So when taking parikama nimitta, the development is also parikama bhavana. Then when you reach the uggaha nimitta, when you get the uggaha nimitta, what is the bhavana? It is yet parikama. Right? But when you get the patibhaga nimitta, then the bhavana becomes upachara bhavana. And when you get appana samadhi, when you get jhana also, it is what bhavana? Appana bhavana. Huh? So, during the stage of parikama nimitta, the bhavana is parikama bhavana. During the stage of uggaha nimitta, bhavana is still parikama bhavana. And during the stage of patibhaga nimitta, it is upachara bhavana. Right? So it is by means of the counterpart sign, patibhaga nimitta, that excess concentration and absorption concentration occur. So only when you get the counterpart sign is there upachara bhavana and appana bhavana. Now he will explain in detail. Katham, how? When a beginner apprehends a particular sign from the earth, disk, etc., that object is called the preliminary sign, and that meditation is called preliminary development, parikama bhavana. Now, when a beginner apprehends a particular sign, that means when he concentrates on, when he practices meditation on a particular sign from the earth, disk, etc., that means earth kasina or water kasina or the other kasinas and also other objects. So when he first takes that object as the object of meditation and practices meditation on it, then that object is called parikama nimitta, and that development is called parikama bhavana. Here, in the commentary and in Visuddhimagga, how to go about practicing kasina is explained in detail. So, if you want to practice kasina, and if you have practiced kasina in your past lives, that means if you have perfection, then you may not need to make any kasina disc of your own. You just look at the earth and then you get the sign. That is, if you are, say, gifted, if you have the paramis. If you do not have them, then you have to make a kasina disc yourself. So that kasina disc should be made with clay, And it is said that the clay should be the color of dawn. That means maybe red clay, not blue, yellow, white, not really red, but maybe copper color, right? Something like this rock. So you make a kasina disc with that clay, and the size should be about 1 span and 4 finger breadths. So that means about 10 inches in diameter. That can be portable or stationary. You can make a kasina disc on a on a frame with a cloth, and then you put clay on it. Or you may put spikes on the earth, and then put some grass or creepers around it, and then put clay on it, and that is stationary. And then after making it, you sit down, neither too far nor too close to it, and neither too high or too low, and then look at that disc, and then concentrating on the whole of that disc, not part of the disc, concentrating on the whole of it. That is why it is called kasina. Kasina means whole, totality. So you look at, let's say, the earth kasina, and then you say earth, 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 thousands and thousands of times. And then sometimes you close your eyes and try to memorize it. Then you open your eyes and look at it again, saying earth, 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 and you close your eyes. So it may go on for maybe many days. So when a beginner apprehends a particular sign from the earth disk, etc., that object is called the preliminary sign. So when you're doing that, the earth kasina is called a preliminary sign, and your mental development is preliminary bhavana. Parikama bhavana. Okay. Then you have practiced for maybe, say, 1 week or so. When that sign has been thoroughly apprehended and enters into range of the mind door, just as if it was seen by the eye. That means now you have memorized the disc. So thoroughly apprehended that you can see it with your eyes closed. You can see it in your mind. So that means mentally grasped. That is why it is called uggaha nimitta. Uggaha means taken, grasped, or maybe picked up. They call it learning sign here. So when it enters into the range of mind door as if it was seen by the eye. So when you have memorized the disc, then that the image of that disc becomes the object of your mind or thought process. You no longer look at the disc with your eyes. So even when you close your eyes, you can see that disc. So that is why that it is called enters into range of the mind door. That means you can take it with your mind. So from that time on, you just leave it alone and you go back to your place and practice meditation on that acquired object or acquired sign. So here it is said, then it is called the learning sign. So mentally taken. And that meditation becomes concentrated. So it becomes concentrated, but it has not yet become upachara bhavana. So, but it is the concentration is better than at the beginning, but it is still in the stage of parikama bhavana. When one is thus concentrated, one then applies oneself to meditation by means of that preliminary concentration based on that learning sign. That means you take that learning sign, that Ogha Nimitta as the object, and then practice again as and so on. As one does so, an object which is the counterpart of that learning sign becomes well established and fixed in the mind. So you contemplate on the sign, Ogha Nimitta, and that Ogha Nimitta in your mind becomes more and more refined as your concentration gets better. The Ogha Nimitta becomes more refined. That means during the stage of Ogha Nimitta is actually a photocopy of the disc. So if there are defects on the disc, then they will appear in the Ogha Nimitta. Suppose there are impression of hands on the earth disc. So the Ogha Nimitta appears the same as that. But when it reaches the stage of Patibhaga Nimitta, they disappear. So it becomes smooth and like a polished shell. So it becomes well established and fixed in the mind, an object which is freed from the flaws of the original object, right? So the Patibhaga Nimitta appears in the mind of the yogi as something which is polished, and so it is free from flaws of the original object. That means the blemishes such as impression of the fingers and so on. And that is reckoned as a concept born of meditation. Now that object, the Patibhaga Nimitta, is a mental object, and it is caused by, or it is born of meditation, or in Visuddhimagga it is that it is the born of sanya, meditation, perception. Now, during the stage of the Parikama Nimitta and Ogha Nimitta, the object, although we call it a sign, is Paramattha. You look at the real earth, right? So the earth is Paramattha, the ultimate reality. And the Ogha Nimitta is the photocopy of that, and so it is also Paramattha. But when it reaches the stage of Patibhaga Nimitta, it is no longer Paramattha. It becomes a concept. Just it exists only in your mind. So it is called, reckoned as a concept, born of meditation. Then it is said that the counterpart sign has arisen. So at that time, it is a counterpart sign is said to have arisen. So counterpart sign is a real concept, and this counterpart sign, that is the object of jhana. Because after getting this counterpart sign, the yogi practices meditation further on that sign, saying earth, and so on. And so when now in this passage, there is in the Pali there is a word Vattu Dhamma Vimochita, third line. Vattu Dhamma vimochita, right? Yeah. And that is translated as freed of the flaws of the original object. Now, the commentary to Abhidhammattha-saṅgaha gives two meanings, not just one meaning. Vattu Dhamma Vimochita is explained as that which is free from Vattu Dhamma. Vattu here means Paramattha. So which is not Paramattha. That is one meaning. Since it has become a concept, it is no longer called a Vattu. Vattu means an object or a thing. So here it is the earth element. But when it becomes a Patibhaga Nimitta, the counterpart sign, it is no longer earth element. It is an image born of meditation perception or born of meditation mind. And also it is explained to be free from flaws. So in that case, Vattu Dhamma means flaws or blemishes in the original object. So Vattu here means original object or the kasina object, and Dhamma means the flaws or blemishes. So we can take any meaning. It's okay. So when it becomes the Patibhaga Nimitta, then it becomes very refined, clean, maybe shining. And in Visuddhivimagga it is said that it is like coming out of the Uggaha sign, Uggaha Nimitta. And also it is like a bird flying against the background of rain clouds. A heron, a white bird, say flying against the background of the rain clouds. So that means it is much more clear and much more refined than the Uggaha Nimitta. So during the time of Parikama and Uggaha Nimitta, the object is still Paramattha. But during the time of Patibhaga Nimitta or counterpart sign, it becomes concept. That is why we say the jhanas take concept as object, right? Yeah. So we are not we have not yet got into jhana yet. Now, next section. Thereafter, excess development is accomplished, consisting in concentration of the sense sphere in which the obstacles have been abandoned. Obstacles here means nivaranas, mental hindrances. So the abandoning of mental hindrances and the stage of upachara samadhi coincide. So when the mental hindrances are subdued, then upachara samadhi arises. Because without subduing mental hindrances, you cannot get upachara samadhi. So when a person gets the upachara samadhi, that means he has subdued or abandoned. Here abandoned means not abandoning ultimately, but abandoning for some time. So he has already abandoned the obstacles to samadhi. That means abandoned the nivaranas. Following this, as one cultivates the counterpart sign by means of excess concentration, one enters the first jhana of the fine material sphere. So the yogi takes the counterpart sign as the object and contemplates on it or practices meditation on it, and then he enters the first jhana of the fine material sphere. So when he is practicing, taking Patibhaga Nimitta as object, his concentration is of the sense sphere, that means Kama Vajara, right? The jhanas may be Kama Vajara, Kusala, accompanied by knowledge. And how many jhanas before the jhana attainment? How many Kama Vajra jhanas? You remember? 4, right? Parikama, Upachara, Anuloma, Kodravu. Yeah, you have to go back to the fourth chapter. So, access development is accomplished consisting in concentration of the sense sphere in which the obstacles have been abandoned. Following this, as one cultivates the counterpart sign by means of access concentration, one enters the first jhana. So, Parikama, Upachara, Anuloma, Gotrapu, and then jhana, the first Rupa Vajra jhana. And immediately after the jhana consciousness, what follows? Or how many times does jhana consciousness arise? Only one, right? Now you have to go back to the 4th chapter also. At the first attainment, jhana arises only once. Yeah. So after that, you lapse into bhavanga. And then after that, you may take the jhana factors as object and review the jhana factors. That will come later. Okay, now he gets to the first jhana. Following this, one masters the first jhana by means of the 5 kinds of mastery. So after getting the first jhana, a person has to practice that jhana again and again to gain mastery over it. I mean, mastery with it. Because if you have no mastery with the first jhana and you try to get the second jhana, you practice meditation to get the second jhana, then you do not get the second jhana and you lose the first jhana. So before trying to get the second jhana, you have to practice first jhana again and again so as to gain mastery. There are 5 kinds of mastery. And they are mastery in adverting, right? Avajana. Mastery in attainment or entering into jhana, samabhajana. Mastery in resolution. Mastering in emergence, getting out of jhana. And mastering in reviewing. So these are called 5 kinds of mastery. So with regard to first jhana, you have to gain these 5 kinds of mastery before you try to get the second jhana. Then, by striving to abandon the successive growth factors, such as initial application, etc., and to arouse these successive subtle factors, such as sustained application, etc., one enters the second jhana, etc., in due sequence, according to one's ability. So, a yogi practices the meditation, he gains mastery, 5 kinds of mastery with regard to first jhana. Then he sees vitaka, right? He sees vitaka as gross, vitaka as not so good. And so he tries to abandon the vitaka and tries to get vichara and others. So when he succeeds in eliminating vitaka, then the jhana which arises is without vitaka, and so that is second jhana. Then after getting second jhana, he finds fault with second jhana. It's not so good because it is close to vitaka, and which is also close to 5 hindrances. And he sees piti, right? Piti and others as subtle factors. So he tries to eliminate vichara, and so again he has to gain 5 kinds of mastery with regard to second jhana, and then he practices meditation again, trying to eliminate vichara, and when he succeeds, he gets the third jhana, and so on. Now 5 masteries. 5 kinds of mastery on page 342. Mastery in adverting, avajjana vasita, is the ability to advert to the different jhana factors such as vitaka, vichara, etc. quickly and easily in accordance with one's wish. That means first he gets into the first jhana, and then he emerges from the first jhana, and then he must take vitaka as the object and review it. So that is what is called adverting here. And then after reviewing vitaka, he must be able to review vichara without many bhavangas intervening, just about 2 bhavangas, or maybe a little more bhavangas, but not too many bhavangas intervening. In this way, he must be able to review the third jhana, the piti, and then sukha, and then ekagata, quickly, one after another. So that is what is called mastery in adverting. So he must do this. And next is mastery in attainment. That means he must be able to get into that jhana quickly, without too many bhavangas intervening again. Then mastery in resolution is the ability to remain in the jhana for a length of time determined by one's prior resolution. That means he must be able to stay in that jhana as long as he likes. If he decides to be in the jhana for just 1 moment, then he will be there only 1 moment. Then 10 moments, then he will be in 10 moments. If he wants to be in the jhana state for 1 hour, then he will be there for 1 hour. So that mastery, that means ability to stay in jhana as long as one wishes. Resolution here means just that. To stay in jhana as long as one wishes. And then mastery in emergence, that's easy. And he must be able to get out of jhana at the determined time. Say, at the end of 1 hour, I will get out of jhana. Then he must be able to get out of jhana exactly. But if he is not too familiar with the jhanas, he may take longer or maybe shorter to get out of jhana. He may get out of jhana before the time he determines or after the time. But when he gets mastery in emerging, then he can get out of jhana the moment the at the very moment he had determined. So that is a mastery in emergence. And the last is mastery in reviewing. That is actually the same as the first one. Mastery in adverting. The difference is the mastery in adverting is the power of manodvara vajana, adverting. But here, mastery in reviewing is the power of kamavajara javanas. When a yogi reviews the jhana factors, he reviews them with kamavajara javanas. You know, there are reviewing thought processes, following the jhana thought processes. So these are the 5 masteries, and without getting these kinds of masteries with regard to a jhana, a person cannot attain a higher jhana. So he attains the jhanas one by one, and the details are all given in Visuddhimagga. You want the references to Visuddhimagga? It may be good to write them down. So, again, section 17, appearance of the science and meditation. Chapter 3, section 28, and chapter 4, sections 21 to 29. And then the bottom paragraph, when that sign has been thoroughly apprehended and so on. Chapter 4, section 30. And then, next page, when one is thus concentrated and so on. Chapter 4, section 31. And then, attainment of jhana. Chapter 4, chapter 4, did I say section? Actually, paragraph numbers. Now, chapter 4, paragraph 34 to 131 are long passage. And then, following this and so on, chapter 4, paragraph 131 to 136. And 5 masteries. Oh, I haven't noted them. 5 masteries. 5 masteries. Chapter 5, paragraph 132, 33, 34, 35, and 136. Okay, now, so up to here, a person has reached the 5 jhanas. Thus, the counterpart sign is found in 22 meditation subjects. That means kasina and so on. But of the remaining 18 subjects, the illimitables occur with the concept of beings as their object. So the object of kasina meditation and others are the kasina signs or concepts. But the object of appamanya, illimitables, is the concept of beings or beings as concept. Now, in the 3rd chapter, there is a chart in the Aramana, page 142. So if you look at that chart, say first jhana takes 25 kinds of objects, right? And they are 10 kasinas, 10 asubhas. One body means kayakadasati and breath. And then being object of love, being object of compassion, being object of joy. So 25 kinds of objects. And then second jhana, only 14 kinds of objects. No fault, asubha and no kayakadasati. Third jhana, fourth jhana, same. Fifth jhana, 10 kasinas, anapana and equanimity, only 12. Yeah. So these are concepts, right? 25 kinds of concepts, 14 kinds of concepts, and so on. Okay. And we come to immaterial attainments for next week.